Now we are coming to the next category, that is O. We have already finished subject, verb, and now we are coming to O, that is object. Object is the result of the verb. The result of the verb. Because for some actions, there are objects. Okay, for example, I wrote what? If I say I wrote only, there will be a question or a doubt in the mind of the listener or the reader. I wrote what? Somebody wrote, Raju wrote what? There's a question. There's a question existing in the mind of the listener or in the mind of the reader. Okay, so that verb has an object. That is why the reader or the listener is sitting there doubtfully. Okay, what? He wrote something. Raju wrote. Raju wrote what? There is an answer. There is a possible answer. Raju wrote what or I wrote what? I wrote a letter. Raju wrote a novel. So that is what is called object. Okay, some verbs will not have objects, like she cried. She cried. That sentence is complete. Okay. Nora cried. If I say Nora cried. And if you hear that, Nora cried. Yeah. You will see that that sentence is complete. Nora cried. There is no question what. Sometimes you can ask why. That is another part. That is adverbial, or adverb or adverbial clause or something like that we can add with it. But we cannot say what. Okay. So some verbs have objects. Some verbs have no objects. If a verb has an object, that is a transitive verb. For example, buy. B-Y, buy is a transitive verb. Why? That verb has an object. Any type of object is possible to be placed there after the verb. I buy a car. I buy a car, or I bought a car yesterday, or I'm going to buy a car. Buy what? Object is there. Object is there. What is object? A car or a bike. Okay. So the word or the verb buy is a transitive verb because that verb has an object. Any type of object. And you check the verb smile. Can you say I smiled Ravi? I smiled Ravi. No. I smile at Ravi, you can say. At preposition, and preposition has object. At Ravi. At Ravi. Ravi is the object of the preposition. At Ravi means I smiled at Ravi. Okay. After smiled, what is the word coming? At. That's a preposition. What is Ravi? Ravi is the object of the preposition, not object of the verb. So the verbs like cry, smile, etc. have no objects. So they are intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs. Okay. So when we consider object, a transitive verb will have object. All transitive verbs will have objects, any type of objects. Okay, any type of objects. Like a car or two cars. Okay, like that. So that is what is object. So what is the idea now you have about object? Object is the result of the verb. Object of the verb means that is the result of the verb. Okay, that is why the verb is there. Okay, the verb is happening because of that. Without that object, this verb, transitive verb will be incomplete. We have to mention that also. I bought means I bought what will be there in the listener's mind. So we can say I bought a car. That's a complete sentence. Why do we leave that object? There is no need to leave the object. If object is left out, that sentence in one way becomes incomplete. The sentence becomes incomplete one way. Why? Because we are not providing all the facts. Okay, all the truth, all the idea we are not passing. Okay, so object is important to complete the sentence. Okay, so there are two types of objects. Direct objects, indirect objects. Means some verbs will have only one object. That is direct object. Okay, Some verbs will have two objects. One object will be direct object, the other object will be indirect object. So if there is only one object, that is direct object only. Keep in your mind. Okay. If there is only one object, that is direct object. If there are two objects, one object is direct and the other object is indirect. I have written example here, one example. I gave him a pen. You see, you check that sentence. I gave him a pen. What's the subject? I. What's the verb? Gave. Gave whom and gave what? Gave what? I gave what? A pen. That is direct object. Whom is indirect object. Okay, this is personal. Personal object. A pen is impersonal object. Okay, so what is the direct object here? What? The answer of what? You ask a question to the verb. What? I gave. What? What you gave? Or what did you give? What? A pen. So the answer of what is a direct object. I gave him. Whom? Or to whom you gave? To whom you gave? Him you gave. I gave him. That is indirect object. Okay. Now we check the second sentence. She bought a car. She bought what? She bought what? A car. Okay. Obviously, when somebody says she bought, you will have a doubt in your mind. She bought. What she bought? I have no idea. What did she buy? Okay. When we get the object, we will get a complete idea. Otherwise, we will not be satisfied with that sentence. Okay. Still, we will have a doubt in our mind. What did he buy? Or what did she buy? She bought a car. She bought what? A car. That is direct object. Okay. And you check the third sentence. They love me. They love whom? Me. Is there a direct object? Are there two objects? No. How many objects are there? Only one object. Only one object means that is direct object. But don't think about person or place. Nothing like that. If only one subject, only one object is there, that is direct object. Okay. So object is the result of the action. Okay, result of the action. Object of the verb. Object of the preposition is there. That is another thing. Object of the preposition. Like at him, to Ravi, to Raju, to Nora. Okay. Or to Koilandi, to Kottayam. To is a preposition. Kottayam is the object of the preposition. Here I mean the object of the verb. Okay. How the verb actions. What happens there? I gave what? What? Okay. That is what is object, and there are two types of objects. They are direct object and indirect object. Okay. And if two objects come, you ask what to the verb? What? The answer will be direct object. And you ask whom, you will get indirect object. Okay. She bought what? A car is a direct object. They love me. Only one object is there, means that is direct object. Okay. Now the next type is C. C is used for complement. Complement. Okay. We have already completed subject, verb, object. And the next is complement. Complement is an expression. That's a word. Complement may be one word or a phrase or a clause. Why a complement is used? To complete an expression. To complete the meaning of an expression. To complete the meaning of a sentence. Okay, for completion of the meaning, sometimes we use complements in sentences. Okay, there are two types of complements. They are subject complement and object complement. Subject complement, the word or phrase or clause used to complement the subject or used to complement the object. Okay, so complement is actually supporting a subject or an object. I have written examples here. Roy is a doctor. That is a sentence. Roy is a doctor. We have got a simple sentence. Roy is a doctor. And what is the subject? Roy. Roy is, this is the verb, is linking verb. Roy is, who is Roy? A doctor. So the expression a doctor, if there is no expression like this, a doctor is removed, what we will get? Roy is. Roy is Is it complete? Is it a sentence? Are you getting any idea from that? But no, that expression is incomplete if we don't add this a doctor. And who is a doctor? Roy. Here Roy and a doctor are the same person. There is no any other doctor here in this. Roy is the doctor. He is a doctor. Roy is a doctor. So a doctor is Roy. So the expression or the phrase a doctor is used to complement the subject Roy. That is subject to complement. Okay. Another example is they are kind. We check or see that example. They are kind. How many words are there? There are 3 words. They are kind, and the subject is they are is the linking verb used. Okay, linking verb. This word are is used to link they and kind. They and kind. So the word kind is an adjective. Why that adjective is used? This adjective stands as a complement because this adjective is used for they. So here they are kind. So this word kind is used for they, to complement they or to complete the expression. Okay, to give us a complete meaning. This kind, the word kind is used and this word is used for the subject and we say that is a subject complement. Okay, so the first one is a subject complement because a doctor is used for the subject Roy. In the second sentence, kind is a subject complement, the subject complement because this word is used for the subject they. Now when we examine the third sentence, we made him a doctor. We made him somebody. We made him a doctor. You see, what is the subject? We. What's the verb? Main verb. Action is the made, did plus made. Okay, that is simple past tense because that's the second form and that is an action word. The action word in that is make and the helping verb is did and the two are combined or mixed up to get a second form that is made. We made. We made whom? Him. We made him. That is an object. We made him is an object. Made is verb. We subject. Subject verb object. And there is another expression giving at the end that is a doctor. A doctor. Who is a doctor actually? Is it we? No. Is it him? Yeah. Him is we made him a doctor. So here him or he and a doctor are the same. So this expression a doctor is used for the subject and this is complement. That is, okay, this is object, not subject, object. Him is object and his complement is used for object and this is object complement. Okay, for examination, you will not have to categorize which type of or what type of complement it is. You write only C. C means complement. Okay, whether it is subject complement or object complement, that is another matter. Okay, when we write the name of the pattern, we don't have to specify whether it is subject complement or object complement. No specification should be made like that. But if there is a particular question, only to specify what type of complement it is, whether it is subject complement or object complement. If a particular question or a specific question comes like that, you must be able to identify what is a subject complement, what is an object complement, whether a complement is given, that whether that is subject complement or object complement. You must be able to understand. Here you know that it is an object complement. Why it is an object complement? Him is an object. That is not a subject. That is not a subject in the sentence. Okay, object. And see, this a doctor is used for him. He is the doctor. We made him the doctor. Him is the object and C is the complement, that is object complement. Okay, so there are 2 types of complements. Now we are coming to the last category. The name of the category is A. A stands for adverbial. Adverbial. You might have studied about adverb, adverbial, adjunct, etc. Here we focus on adverbial. What is the function of an adverbial or an adverb in a sentence? Gives extra information about the verbs. So an adverbial is used for a verb to give an extra information or additional information about the verb. The reader or the listener is getting an additional information and the concept in the sentence will be complete because with that. Okay, if we don't use adverb, sometimes some actions will demand adverbials for the completion of the concept, for the completion of the meaning. Okay, we will have to sometimes mention when the action happens, or when the action happened, or when the action will happen tomorrow, or next month, next year, or when it happened last day or last month. We might have to say sometimes yesterday something happened. I met my friend yesterday. Okay, or sometimes at 7 o'clock, the time has to be mentioned like 7 p.m. or 3 p.m. like that. Okay, or morning, evening, at noon, all these are adverbials. Okay, maybe one word or phrase, more than one words may come sometimes as adverbial. So you write a for that category, for that part. You write a. Sometimes we will have to mention where. All these are related to what, or related with what, related with verbs. Where the action happened, or where the action is happening, where the action happens, or where the action has happened, where the action will happen. Okay, maybe in India. Okay, I met him. Where? In India. I met him in India. You see, I, subject. Met, verb. Him, that's object. Where? In India is adverbial a. Okay, or at school. Okay, we will meet at school. We will meet at school. We, subject, will meet. That's the verbal part. We will meet, both. Auxiliary means helping verb, and meet. Will and meet together. Together becomes a finite verb, means total, complete verb. Okay, so a main verb and auxiliary together, we should say that is we, together. If auxiliary is given outside, we have to include that also with the verb. Then only the verb will be complete in meaning, that is finite verb, total, meaningful verb. Okay, that is we. Okay, and at school, that is the adjunct. Okay, we met him at school. Okay, we met him, or we will meet him. Him is the object. We will meet him at school. What are the elements given there? What's the pattern there? We can categorize the pattern, identify the pattern by analyzing each word. Okay, we, that's subject. Will meet, that's verb. Him, that's object. So SVO. At school, A. SVOA. That's a pattern. So we write patterns like that. SVO will be the sometimes. SVC will be the sometimes. Okay, so according to the function of the words, we can categorize the pattern. There are different patterns in sentences, or different patterns of sentences are there. And here the last thing is how the action happens. Okay, adverbial can also be used to mention how, means in what manner the action happened. Sadly, he cried. How? Sadly. Okay, he cried sadly. That's an adverbial. Or then we can expand with the sadness. Sadly means with the sadness. With the sadness, that part is also adverbial. So if sadly, the word sadly has come, you can indicate a for that. There. In that sentence, for that word we can use a, indicate a. Or with the sadness, a. Okay? So here, I will write one example. I met him yesterday at you see that sentence. I, what is that? I is the subject. What happened? Met. Verb. Whom? Him as object. When? Yesterday. That is a. Where? According is a. So two adverbs are there. So you have to specifically write the two adverbs. A. So this pattern is S, V, O, A. S, V, O, A. This is the pattern. Okay, because here two adverbials are separately, distinctively come. Separately. Where something happened, when something happened. Where something happened is that is a adverbial, and when yesterday. When? Yesterday. Where yesterday happens? Where it happened? At what time it happened? The action happened at what time? So that is another A. So A. Okay. So this is all about adverbial. So we have already completed all these concepts. Okay. Subject, the function of subject. Verb, what is the concept of verb? You know now. What is object? What is complement? What is adverbial? Okay. Now the thing is that all these concepts may come in different patterns. I mean, sometimes verb may come first. Sometimes subject may come first. Sometimes complement may come first. Sometimes adverbial may come first. Like yesterday I met him. What happened in that sentence? Yesterday I met him. Okay, yesterday. That's an adverbial. A has come first. A. I. That is subject. As. Met verb. ASV. Him object. ASV. O. That's a pattern. So while identifying the pattern or while analyzing the pattern, you must minutely examine what type of word it is, what is its function. Whether it is subject, for subject it is very easy to find out, I think. Subject we can easily trace or find out, or we can easily identify the subject. Verb obviously, and linking verb will be there. Sometimes only linking verb will be there. Sometimes helping verb plus main verb will be there. So if helping verb and main verb come, what we will do? Together we will mark as V. She is writing. She, subject, is writing. That is verb. Not only is, not only writing. Finite verb. If auxiliaries or helping verbs are separately given, you have to write both to indicate the finite verb, V. Okay, then object or complement or adjunct, anything. But if there is linking word only, he is a doctor, he is. And there is no action in that. That's only a linking verb, V. He is subject verb, a doctor is a complement. That is as we see. Like that, you can categorize the pattern. What type of pattern has come? You can mark the pattern. Okay? So, one more time, you just go through all these concepts like subject, verb, object, complement, adjunct. Okay, for some students, adjuncts may be a little difficult. Okay, so that much difficulty is not there actually for that. You remember, adjunct is adjunct or adverbial. Adjunct, adverbial or adverb. Anyhow, that gives an extra information about the verb, and that will be connected with the time sometimes, connected with the place sometimes, connected with the manner, in which manner the action happens or happened or will happen. Okay, so this is all about word order, syntax, and sentence patterns. Different sentence patterns we can identify, and we can make sentences in different patterns as well. Okay, thank you very much.